Okay, hi everyone. So these four questions are respectively related to the exercise 1 that I gave it to you. The first question about simplify the ratios. So if you can take a look at the example right here, I think that you must know how to do the question 1, okay? So let's take a look A part first. So as you know, the meaning of ratio means division. So the first way to do this question is by simply write it into a format of division. Okay, so it becomes a fraction. So do you know how to simplify a fraction is the main point. So if you can reduce this fraction by a 5, that 5 is supposed to be a number that both 30 and 65 can be divisible. So after reducing, 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 13 is 65, okay? So then you will get 6 to 13, but you cannot write the answer as a fraction form because this is a ratio. So you must convert this back into a ratio format, which is 6 to 13. We call it 6 to 13. Then this is our final answer. Okay? So we have other ways to do these questions that we don't want to transfer it back to our ratio form, the fraction format. So we will just keep it like a ratio format. And by thinking a number that both of them can be divisible, then we can carry out a process that both of them divided by 5, okay? So that actually you will get back the same answer, which is 6 to 13, like this way. So this is the way that we don't want to write this into a fraction format and to simplify these questions. Okay, so these are the two ways normally we deal with a ratio problem. And honestly, for myself, I would prefer to use the right-hand side that way because that's more convenience. But of course, for the right-hand side, for the left-hand side this way, you also need to know because this is the basic meaning of the ratio that to write it down is a fraction, okay? So how about question B? We can see the ratio for this one is are the two decimal number. One very important concept you have to know that when you want to write down the answer of a ratio, you cannot either use decimal or fraction like C part as the answer, cannot. For the ratio representation, both of them must be, okay, using integer, okay, as you can see here. Both of them must be integer, okay, to represent the answer. So therefore, we have to do something for it. Now, but before we do a decimal number, I would suggest that you think about how do you magnify them by times a 10, 100, or 100 to them so that they will become an integer. For these two, they have two decimal places for both of them. So both of them I will magnify 100 times. So that both of them would be changing to a integer so that I can be more easy to do simplification. And actually, when you have done this, then you will just change it back, okay, to the question that you see in A part. And then you can choose what type of method do you like. You can choose the fraction one, or you can choose the division one. For example, you can choose the division one, but at the beginning, you cannot think about a number that is big enough that both of them can be divisible. Then you can think about a small number first. For example, 2. Okay, so if you can think about the 2, it will reduce to a 12 to 18. Then you think again, is it already the answer? If you can think about other number, for example 6, then please do it. Until, okay, to the end that you cannot find any number, both of them can be divisible. Then that is your answer. Understand? So this is our way to do this simplification as a decimal. Now, I want to remind all of you one thing. So how do I know that the answer is right or wrong? Like you can use the calculator to help yourself. This is very important, especially for the weaker student. So you can use the calculator to help yourself to check the answer. So what do you do? For example, for this question, you can use calculator to help yourself. How? So you press 30 and then divided by 65 and then press EXE. Okay? Press the EXE button. Then you will get back a number. Normally it's a decimal, but we don't need decimal. We need fraction. So please press the button that is on the top left-hand corner below the program button. That one is called A, B, or C like this. Then you change back to a fraction that is 6 over 13. Sometimes you will come up with a mixed fraction. Please at that time press Shift ABC. Okay, Shift ABC. Okay, then you will get back the fraction that you want. Okay, as the answer. Okay, but again, please notice that cannot write the answer as a fraction because you are talking about ratio simplification. Okay. Okay, how about C? So we deal with the C part, this kind of questions, then we will just by write it as a division format first. This time I don't want to simplify it as a ratio format because that's quite difficult for me to think about a number that times to this two number to becomes an integer. This is very difficult. So I prefer to write it into a division format. But instead of writing down like this, because there's a double fraction line, I don't like this, so I won't write like this. I would use a division symbol to represent this one. Okay? So that will be more convenience for me when I want to do simplification, that all of you should know that divided becomes times, we will upside down the number at the back. Okay? So at this moment, you can simplify this fraction by multiplying them, okay, at the numerator and the denominator. Okay? So 7 with times 3 becomes 21. 1 times 5 becomes 5. And if there is no cancellation or reduction for the fraction, then you can write down the answer as 21 to 5. Understand? So this is the way that how we deal with the fraction questions. Okay? Okay, so for the last one, you see that they have unit on it for the two ratios. So please don't simplify at this moment because their unit are not the same. So you have to change the meter unit become cm first before you do simplification for them. Okay? So therefore you have to know that 1 meter equals to 100 cm. Okay? So changing unit is one of the knowledge that you have to know in simplifying the ratio. Sometimes you will have unit for them, but they are different. You have to change them into the same unit so that you can just erase the unit yourself. Okay? When they are the same, you just care about the numbers and you think about a number, both of them can be divisible and do divided by both of them, like 12, if you can think about that. Again, you can start with the small number if you can think about that and do a few times. Okay? So that will be 100 to 3 and that is our answer. Okay? So again, you can use your calculator to help yourself to press 1200 divided by 36 and then press EC and press the fraction pointer ABC and you will see the answer also. Okay, so if you have any problem after seeing this example, so please come to me, I'm Mr. Lau, okay? So come to me to ask about it, okay? Thank you.